Hey guys, I just wanted to let you see this. This is one of the most memorable moments in the Daybell case that's going on right now. We're 29 days into it, and they're getting ready to start with closing arguments. There's been lots of memorable moments, but this one definitely goes down. I was cheering at the TV when I heard it. Remember him, the doomsday prophet? He's accused of killing his wife and 2 stepchildren. They were found buried in his backyard. So Lorivallow's already been convicted in the deaths of JJ and Tylee and conspiracy in the murder of Tammy. Well, the medical examiner said that when the body was exhumed, that Tammy died from asphyxiation and the cause was, or the manner was murder. So the defense hired another medical examiner, and this medical examiner said there was unspecified, no cause of death. 49-year-old woman went to bed one night and she just died. There was no cause. Well, the prosecution had something to say about this, and this was the best smackdown I've ever heard. She did say, the medical examiner that was on the stand said that she looked through police records and she realized that Tammy had just been shot at by somebody a few weeks prior. So she did look at some police reports. But then when the prosecutor got up there and asked her some questions, watch how this goes down. It's classic.
Our diagnosis should be based off science and what we can actually see rather than speculating. Again, that's how I've always practiced and that's how I teach.
And would it be fair to say that most of you folks in the field of forensic pathology would approach it the way you're approaching it?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
Sustained. I have nothing else, Judge. Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Raven.
Good morning.
You indicated that you are a forensic pathologist, is that correct?
Correct.
Do you work as a medical examiner?
I do not know.
So in your current capacity, you're not in a medical examiner, your office? In your current capacity, you're not working at a medical examiner's office?
No, I'm a forensic pathologist, an independent contractor at this point in my career.
Do you have investigators that work with you?
Yes, in the coroner's office, we'll still have investigators.
So you are in a coroner office system right now?
Yes.
In the current system you're in, who determines whether or not an autopsy should be conducted?
It really varies. Most of the time it's the pathologist who determines that. It really depends. And a medical examiner, it's different because the pathologist is the medical examiner. The coroner system, it's a little different. It's the coroner who will bring the case in. Usually it's left up to the pathologist in my jurisdictions to determine the level of the examination.
And we've talked a little bit about your report. And do you still have that with you?
I do not.
May the witness be handed that last exhibit?
Yes.
Thank you.
And I believe you indicated that you reviewed the autopsy report and documents that were specific. Let's see if I can find the phrasing here. That you reviewed the autopsy report and other pertinent information. Do you recall that?
Yes, I listed a few things, yes.
And in your report, there's a section, materials reviewed. Do you see that section?
Yes.
Is that an exhaustive list of the documents you reviewed in this case?
The initial, I believe I've had a few documents sent to me since this report, but I believe that would have been it, yes.
And do you mind reading those off for the record, what you reviewed?
Absolutely. I thought I wasn't supposed to, but I can.
Yes, it's an exhibit that's been admitted, so I think that's appropriate.
And so I could just verbatim.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind doing that.
You have to excuse my voice, I'm sorry. The following materials were reviewed regarding the death of T. Daybell. Autopsy report authored by Dr. Lily Marsden, co-signed by Dr. Eric Christensen. Autopsy photographs, toxicology reports from NMS and the Utah Department of Health. A brief investigative report from the Office of the Medical Examiner, State of Utah. A typed coroner report, not signed, dated, or on letterhead, unknown time, authored, or source. The Fremont County Coroner informal record of death report. A report by Deputy Greenhaw, excuse the name, Detective Fabinich and Lieutenant Powell. Scene photographs, unknown source. Report by B. Mattingly. Fremont County incident report from incident from 10/09/2019. Copy of the death certificate for T. Daybell, signed at 10/19/2019 by Brenda Dye, and the transcript of Dr. Christensen's testimony, Brenda Dye interview, and Deputy Coroner M. Wilmore's interview.
And you said maybe since then you've reviewed a few more documents?
Yes, I believe so, but that was 3 years ago, so I believe a few things have come through. When I started first reviewing them, a few things have come through since.
And do you recall what those things are that have come through?
I believe it was different reports of what the coroner reported on. I don't recall specifically, I'm sorry.
Now watch this.
As part of your, and
Love
let me
it.
back up, and these were documents that were provided to you by defense counsel?
That's correct.
So when you say you reviewed the autopsy report and other pertinent information, it was the defense that provided you that other pertinent information, is that correct?
The defense provided me everything, yes.
Did you report Lieutenant Powell regarding requesting Walmart records?
That does not sound familiar, but I don't remember.
Did you review a report of an interview with Emily Daybell?
I don't recall.
Did you review a report of an interview with Paul Daybell?
I don't recall.
Did you review a report of an interview with Janet Penrose, a relative of Tammy Daybell?
I don't believe so.
Did you review a report of an interview with David Warwick?
I don't believe so. The name's not familiar.
And you said you reviewed some of the coroner reports. Would that be Brenda Dye? Does that name sound familiar?
It does sound familiar. Like I said, one was not signed. I didn't know who wrote it, but that name does sound familiar.
Did you review an interview that was conducted with Brenda Dye, a report of that?
I believe so, yes.
Did you review a report of an interview conducted with the Deputy Coroner, Tammy Wilmore?
Yes, I believe so.
Did you review a report that contained some records from a Lolly Time iCloud account?
No.
Did you review a report from Benjamin Dean, an analyst with the FBI?
No.
Did you review the Seasons medical records?
No.
Did you review the Teton medical records?
No.
And I think you indicated you did review some reports of the October 9th incident.
Yes.
And that would have been regarding an attempted shooting of Tammy Daybell. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Did you review a report of an interview with Matthew and Regan Price?
I don't believe so.
Did you review a report of an interview with Haley Palmer?
No.
Did you
Look at John
review any
Pryor.
reports of interviews with Angela Yancey?
No.
Did you review a report of an interview with Ronald and Phyllis Douglas?
Judge, I'm going to object at this point to the relevance of how that would have an impact on the autopsy. She's going to go down a list of every report that any witness in this case discussed.
No speaking objections, please, but I'll sustain the objection at this point unless there's some specific relevance to the autopsy.
And if I may respond?
Go ahead.
I'm reading off a list that was reviewed by the Utah medical examiners in making their findings. I
Okay.
think it is relevant.
All right. If that's the foundation for that, I'll allow that to continue. Thank you, Ms. White.
Did you review a report of an interview with Ronald and Phyllis Douglas?
No.
Did you review a report of an interview with Lisa Jensen?
No.
Did you review a report of an interview with Janet Davis?
No.
Did you review a report of an
that's
interview with
fucking
Melissa
hilarious.
Coles?
Look at Pryor.
Did you review a report of an interview with Mary Fran Jepson?
His face just got really red.
Did you review a report of an interview with Faye Harris?
No.
Did you review a report of an interview with John Ox?
No.
Oh
Did
my
you review a
God.
report of an interview with Margaret Brown?
No.
Did you review a report of an interview with Stephanie Peralta?
No.
Did you review a report of an interview with Angela Johansson?
No.
Did you review a report of an interview with Shanna Miller?
I don't recall.
Did you
Chad.
review a report of an interview with Barbara Blair?
I don't believe so.
Did you review a report of an interview with Hannah Munoz?
No.
Did you review a report of an interview with Britt and Crystal Briggs?
This is memorable
No.
to the jury
Did you
right here.
review a report of an interview with Micaiah Bakeland?
No.
Did you review a report of an interview with Cara and Sandra Briggs?
No.
Did you review a report of an interview with Emma Moss? Did you review
Still
a
going.
statement given by Greg Stoddard?
Still fucking going.
I don't recall.
Did you review 4 to 5 reports regarding insurance surrounding Tammy Daybell life insurance?
No.
Did you review a report indicating Tammy never used any sick days?
No.
Did you review her Walmart prescription records?
No.
Did you review a report regarding Tammy's cell phone?
No.
Did you review a report? Actually, I'll back up there. So as part of your review of the findings in the autopsy, you did not review the list that was just read off.
No.
Were those documents provided to you?
No.
Some of those that were indicated was the medical records. Did you specifically review the season's medical records associated with Tammy Daybell?
As answered before, I did not.
And the Teton medical records?
Judge asked and answered.
Same.
Counsel asked you about reviewing or looking at medical records referencing shaking fits and seizure activity. Did you ever look at any medical records referencing shaking fits?
I don't recall the first question, and I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. I'm sorry. Can you rephrase that?
Did you ever review any medical records associated with Tammy Daybell that referenced shaking fits?
No, I did not.
Did you ever review any medical records associated with Tammy Daybell that referenced seizure activity?
I did not.
Where did that information come from?
That information came from the coroner's report.
And the coroner's report was information obtained from Chad Daybell?
I believe that's where she got it from, but you'd have to ask her. I'm not sure where they got their medical information from.
I
And you
love
talked about a possible cause of death being cardiac arrhythmia.
It's one possible cause when there's no anatomical findings, yes.
And you said generally with that you would find a structural defect.
Commonly we do, yes.
In the review of the autopsy report, was there any structural defect with Tammy Daybell's heart?
Not that they found, no.
it. Jesus, Lord. You just wasted money, John Pryor.
You were also asked about the bruising on Tammy Daybell, and I think you said you defined it as unspecified or unspecific bruising?
Non-specific. Dr. Christensen testified to that too. They're non-specific bruises.
And counsel proceeded to ask you about putting pressure on someone's chest. Do you recall that? And you indicated you would expect it to be 2 people, at least, if that was done?
No, it just takes significant weight to do that. I mean, it's hard to sit on somebody to cause death. And the scientific literature that's out there says probably 450 pounds or more. Actually, it was closer to 600.
George
They went
Floyd.
down to 450.
That's bullshit.
But you would agree that it could be more than one person involved,
Possibly.
if that were to happen.
If you have more than one person on you, yes.
And what are the other ways that asphyxiation can be caused or occur?
Well, again, asphyxia is just the process of the body not getting oxygen. So many things. We said drowning already. You're underwater, you're not getting oxygen. Choking, you have airway obstruction, suffocation. You can be in a position like a car. People have asphyxia where they're underneath a car and the car collapses on them. Or the pressure on the chest. Asphyxia could be from chemical asphyxia, such things like cyanide can cause an asphyxial death because it blocks the oxygen getting to the tissues. So the list can go on and on.
And one way to cause asphyxiation could be to place a pillow over someone's head.
You could suffocate them by putting an object or something in front of their face, if that's what you mean.
Yes.
Yes.
One way to suffocate someone could be to put a plastic bag over their head. Would that cause asphyxiation?
Yes.
JJ. So sad.
And as a forensic pathologist, would you agree that you approach an autopsy more like a doctor as you're looking for symptoms, causes?
Well, we are a doctor, so we do look for scientific evidence of a diagnosis. Again, we don't speculate on diagnoses. We say this is a gunshot wound because we have evidence of the gunshot wound. We have hemorrhage. We have a knife wound. So again, yes, we use scientific evidence to base our diagnoses off of, like any doctor does.
Healthy.
And the difference being in an autopsy, your patient can't provide that information, correct?
That's correct.
So you would have to get it from collateral sources?
Pertinent to the cause of death, yes.
If I may have just a moment.
You may.
That was awesome. She's a healthy. And that was it. No further question. I was laughing my ass off when I watched that. All right. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Thanks, guys.